Hello everybody, and welcome to a very gray, wet, but still beautiful Midtown Atlanta. We're going to be cooking in the lofts today. For those of you that are coming back to the channel, thank you very, very much. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome aboard. In either case, take a moment, click subscribe, leave me a comment. If you click on that little bell thing that should be right there, you'll get a notification every time I upload a new video. You can also follow me on Instagram at braxton.175. Today we're cooking turkey chili, so let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about what you're going to need for your turkey chili. I've taken the liberty to go ahead and sort of prep my mise en place. So let's talk about the vegetables for a minute. So you're going to need, a good medium onion here. I have about 6 cloves of garlic. Just a fine mince on that will be fine because this is going to cook for a while. And as you've heard me say before, mincing garlic is not one of my favorite things, but obviously everything has to have garlic in it, or otherwise what's the damn point? I've got a diced green bell pepper here. I have a serrano chili diced and a jalapeno chili diced. Now I have kept in the seeds and the ribs, as I guess they're called. That's where your heat is going to be, located, right? So if you want to pull back on the heat a little bit, you need to de-seed these and get rid of the of that white ribby tissue that's inside the pepper. On my dry spices, we're going to be using a bay leaf, some cumin powder, some crushed red pepper, some chili powder, some paprika, and I use one of these McCormick chili spice mix packets. So everybody's going to start poo-pooing on me for that. Look, it's a dry spice mix, y'all. It's not cheating, okay? It's not like I'm using a packet of gravy mix here, which would just be sacrilege in my opinion. It's just dry spices, so take shortcuts where you can get it. I get one of these to enhance the dried spices that I'm going to be putting into it as I go, and it works out very well. So pick one of these up. I actually got home from the store this morning. I was setting all of this up and realized I'd forgotten it, so I had to make a run back to the Publix to pick that little puppy up. Okay, so let's talk about the sort of the veg here, sort of the canned veg. Today I'm using a can of pinto beans and a can of black beans. You can use a red kidney bean. They also have like spicy chili beans in the can that you can use. You're going to want to make sure, however, that you drain and rinse these because it's coming in a brine, and that's going to help pull back some of that sort of that processed taste to it, as well as the sodium. Let's talk about sodium for a minute because you are using the chili packet. That's a lot of damn salt, y'all. So that with the canned vegetables and this can of corn, which you're also going to want to kind of drain and rinse that brine off of it. You want to be careful adding any salt to this until really sort of at the end, and you're tasting as you go, as you should, just to make sure your salt levels are not off the frickin' chart with this, okay? Another thing that I've discovered in making this recipe is these fire-roasted diced tomatoes. It gives it a smokiness and a darkness to it, combined with a secret ingredient that I will talk about later, which there's a whole thing on, right? There's a lot of controversy on it. It gives it this depth that I really enjoy, okay? You're going to want some good quality sort of tomato puree or tomato sauce, can of tomato paste, and today I'm using 2 pounds of a 93.7 fat content ground turkey. So this is the baseline. At the end, you can also garnish it with your favorite chili garnishes, with that cheddar cheese or avocado, guacamole, or pickled jalapenos, or whatever you want to do. I'll be garnishing it today with cheddar cheese, low-fat Greek yogurt as a substitute for sour cream. Trust me on that, kids. You will not know, and you're cutting fat in doing so. I've got some fresh scallions I'll be putting on it at the end, and I bought some pickled jalapenos, so we'll just have to see where I'm at on the heat level. If I want to go higher or not, will just sort of depend. So let's start cooking. Alright guys, so we're going to start by browning our turkey. I'm going to take just a couple of tablespoons of olive oil and swirl around my big soup pot here. I love this pot. Why am I doing that? Well, this is very, very lean meat, so it is not going to render a lot of fat. So you're going to kind of have to sort of bring that kind of along as you go. So in goes 1 pound. In goes another pound. That. And always wash your hands when you're dealing with the birds, or any protein really. I'm shocked that you have to actually say that to people, but apparently you do. And we're going to get this broken up. Let it start doing its magic. Indeed. Okay. Alright, we're going to get this browning, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. Okay, so we've gotten the turkey here pretty much fully cooked through, guys. It's poultry. You have got to get it done. It's at this point that I want to start adding all of the dry seasonings except for the McCormick chili mix seasoning pack. We'll do that after we've got the liquid going. It just works better that way. Now, I don't have measurements. The recipe is of sorts, is in the description below. I am not a measurer, but I have given some suggestions as to quantities. Just fill it out and go as you need. So I'm going to start with some of the cumin powder. I'm going to be liberal with this. I'm going to be liberal with all of it. It's chili. Okay? I would guess maybe a couple of tablespoons. Here's the red chili flakes. Some chili powder. Look how beautiful that color is. I'm going to get that going. And my paprika. This is really good smoky flavor, and it gives it a real nice color as well. And we're going to give that a good stir up, see what it looks like. I don't know if you can pick it up, but the meat is starting to kind of change a little color. I'm going to go, guys, with a little more chili powder on this. A little more cumin as well. I'm going on color for a lot of this, to be honest. I mean, I know what I want it to look like, and that look has a certain taste associated with it. Okay, one more little stir up. Brilliant. To that, we're going to add our onions. And our green bells. Yum, yum, yum. The jalapeno and the serrano. We're going to hold just a minute on the garlic, as I usually do. Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? That's stirred up. You want to get your veggies starting to coat. And we're going to let this kind of sweat out a little bit, so the veggies will start kind of releasing their own flavors, but also picking up the seasonings and the meat. So after this goes for, I don't know, about 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I throw the garlic in, and then we start, we give that a stir, and then we will start adding our liquid. So we'll come back at that point in time. Okay, so I wanted to give you guys kind of a snapshot of what this looks like. So this has been sweating about 5 minutes. I'm about to throw the garlic in. That'll go for about a minute, and we will start adding our beans, corn, and the liquid. Before I do that, however, I'm going to put the tomato paste in and let it start coating. But we'll wide shot all that, and you can kind of see how frantic this sort of gets at this point in time. So here we go. Y'all ready? All right, kids, here we go. Here's my garlic going in. We just want that to start releasing its essential oils to do all of the magic that garlic wants to and is known to do throughout the ages. Now, we're now going to take my tomato paste, a couple of spoonfuls of that in there going, and I want to coat, get that tomato paste to kind of start to melt, kind of helps bring everything sort of, or begins to bring everything together. We're just at this point, with the liquids and all, we're going to start adding it in kind of in layers. Right, so we got the redness really starting to take on. Now, this is your drained beans and corn. So we're ready to kind of get that in. Incorporate. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. This is the beans and the corn and the tomato paste and how nice and coated all of that's getting in there. Wanted you to kind of see what that looks like. Look at that color. It is just going to be fantastic. All right, so getting this stirred up, I am ready to add the fire roasted tomatoes. And we're going to get that incorporated. Brilliant. So good. And then let's add our tomato sauce using a puree here, as I mentioned. I'm going to go with 2 cans. We're going to take a little bit of water, rinse and swirl, rinse and swirl. Add a little bit of that water in there. It's not going to hurt nothing. This is going to be cooking for a good bit. Now, here is the secret ingredient, guys. All right, I have some coffee from this morning's coffee ritual. I'm going to add about a mug and a half to it. And you'll think I'm crazy. I have done this forever and ever and ever and ever. And I was watching Ina Garden one day, and she had this lady on it making chili, and it's a great episode. I'd recommend it. And this woman puts coffee in her chili. I've been doing it for years, and I was like, have her back it up, you know. But I'm telling you, I mean, if you think about it, fireside chili, right? If the cowboys are sitting around the campfire, they've got a pot of coffee on. If they're making chili, guarantee you that coffee is going in that chili. So why do it? It gives this almost chocolatey kind of depth of flavor, awareness. I don't know, but it's nuanced, right? And if I didn't even tell you that I put coffee in it, if you tasted it, you'd be like, what is that? It's not overstated, it's just kind of hinted, and it's there. So trust me on it, guys, YouTube land. Coffee, right? We're going to put our bay leaves in. I'm going to go with about 2. Let me get this big one out of here. Well, maybe not. And we're going to give that a stir. We're going to bring this up to a boil. Once it hits the boiling point, we're going to bring it down. Now, if you're in a hurry, it's a weeknight, you've got kids and stuff to feed, right? 30 minutes would be fine, and towards the end you add the chili pack. That's why we're not putting it in quite yet. But the key here is that the longer it goes, the better it's going to be as anything rustic like this. So I'm probably going to go at least an hour on the cook time today. Once it's up to a boil and down, that's when I'll start counting the hour. We'll be checking in on it as we, kind of go through this process together and checking on it from time to time. Now, you do at this point want to cover it. There you have it. Let time do the work for you. It's real simple. All right, kids, so I did want to kind of give you guys kind of a idea about what this now looks like. As we're waiting for it to come up to the boil, we'll bring it back down as I mentioned. We're going to go about an hour. We'll talk a little bit about garnish. Isn't that going to be delicious? You can make a big pot of this, and I eat off of it all week long, so it's kind of a food prep type situation. I'm thinking about doing a series of food prep techniques that I use. People will say, cooking for one person is so hard. It's not true. It's just not true. There are people, however, that don't want to eat chili every damn meal every day for 5 days. I get that. This is fantastic in the freezer, so you've got it later down the road if you want to. But again, stay tuned for a series of kind of food prep ideas, and I give you some tips and tricks on how I do that. Stretches your damn food dollar. It can kind of help you keep the spare tire at bay that results from, the consumption of beer and deliciousness, things like that. So every little bit helps, but that's another day. So be sure to subscribe, right? Click that little bell so you'll continue to receive notifications when I upload. But that will be forthcoming later down the road. That's the sound of happiness right there. So this has been going now about 30 minutes or so. We're pushing an hour. We're really on the home stretch here. Plus, I'm damn hungry. So at this point, I'm going to add the cheat. Get my seasoning mix in, and we will get that incorporated. Stir that real good. Indeed. Okay, dokie. Alright, we're going to let that sort of marry together, and then I'm going to chow down, y'all. Alright, kids, we're going to give this a taste and see where we're at on specifically salt. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to bring just a pinch on in. Not too much. And I'm going to get some liberal black pepper in there. That is on the damn money right there, y'all. Yes, indeed. And there you have it, guys. I'm garnishing today with some chives, a little cheddar cheese, and some non-fat Greek yogurt for that delicious sour cream flavor without all the guilt. Garnish it with whatever you like. You could put avocado on it. You could put pickled jalapenos on it. You can, do whatever. If you want to bring crackers to this show, do you. It's very good with cornbread as well, but that is a whole different episode, kids, but one that is coming. there you have it, kids. I'm going to get my grub on here. I hope you enjoyed it today. I had a blast doing this. Again, please click subscribe. Leave me a comment. Click on the bell thing. Again, you can follow me on Instagram, braxton.175. You know, come along with me for some more adventures. We'll see y'all later. It was crazy.